Hello, I'd like to welcome everyone this evening. It's about 10 o'clock, and this is the inventory funding system that all of you I know received emails about, and that's why you're here. And we'd like to welcome everyone here. For a moment, though, we're getting Kelly on for just a second, but it's taking us a few moments. So if everybody can just hang tight for a few moments, we're going to get started in just a couple of minutes. She's just having a few technical issues on her end. And if you can just go ahead and grab a cup of coffee or a pen and paper that you might have available, then we'll be getting started in just a few moments. So everybody just hang on a couple of moments. Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Ray Sims, and I'd like to thank everybody for being here tonight. We're just having a couple of issues getting Kelly on, and we're going to have her on hopefully in just a few seconds. If not, we're just going to continue. Kelly can watch the rebroadcast if that's the worst thing that has to happen. But we'll be getting started in just a few moments. So as I said before, if you'd like, go ahead and take a few moments, grab a cup of coffee, orange juice, water, whatever it may be. We'll only be going for probably about 30 minutes tonight. We're not going to be here too terribly long, but take these next few minutes and grab pen, paper, whatever you may need, and we'll be getting started shortly.
No, I don't see you. It just has it doesn't even have an image.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can see you now. So turn your camera off.
Okay. And can you hear me?
Yes, as can everyone else.
Okay. Yay!
Okay,
All
hello
right.
everyone. Hello everyone. Just want to welcome everybody. We finally got Kelly on. Kelly, say hello to everybody.
Hello everyone. Thanks for your patience.
And Kelly, actually, if you would, go ahead and mute your computer speakers, and hopefully you'll be able to hear through your headset. So, can you hear well through your headset, Kelly?
I can hear great. Can you hear me better now?
I can, and that way I'm not reverberating. Okay, hey everybody, welcome. You're with us as we're kind of going through and we're looking at fixing all of our little small technological problems here. So we'd like to welcome everybody tonight to discuss the inventory funding system and funding options for consultants. And first of all, I'm Ray Sims. I know I've already introduced myself. I am the Executive Managing Director for Capital Solutions Funding Group, and we're partnering with Kelly, who had brought this unique challenge to me to create a funding solution for consultants expressly to help fund inventory. And we know that that's something that's kind of needed. Kelly, I don't know if you want to take just a couple of minutes and talk about some of the feedback that you received that kind of led us to this point.
Sure, that'd be great. Thanks, Ray. So I'd like to welcome everyone, like Ray said, and I'd like to also warmly welcome all the VIP guests in attendance tonight of the soon-to-be National Sales Director, Marcy Burton. Thank you, Marcy, for inviting us to your incredible group, and we're just excited to be with you guys tonight. About a year ago, some of you may know that I have been around for almost 8 years outside of Mary Kay, and then 7 years inside Mary Kay. I was a senior sales director with Mary Kay for many years, and due to health complications, had to step down. At that time, created a company called My MK Lead. And about a year ago, of course, because I still get to work with all the incredible women of Mary Kay, but about a year ago, I was brought to a conversation which led me to also find out that funding was a big problem going on now because traditional banks and lending sources weren't lending anymore. And so that, of course, led me to have many discussions, and upon that, we decided to team up with Capital Solutions Funding Group and on this exciting inventory solution for you guys for almost a year now. So that's, of course, what brought us to work together, and really excited to bring this to you guys directly.
Well, and to that end, just to talk a little bit about Capital Solutions, and I'll be kind of brief here. We're a firm where we specialize in small business funding, and that is, as some of you who might be on the line tonight may actually own your own small business outside of Mary Kay. Perhaps you own your own business, or your spouse owns their own business, and we specialize in helping startup firms, startup companies, and other companies attain capital in markets where, as Kelly had mentioned, seem to be drying up. And I think we all know that during the I'll be gentle here and call it the collapse of 2008, the banks changed their tone as it applies to lending. And so for many of you who are out in the field and you're talking to people and you're trying to come up with new and creative ways to help start them in their business and help them fund some of the inventories challenges that they have, you know as well as I do that has been a very difficult thing. So once again, Kelly and I got together, and truly this has been kind of an education process for me as we've kind of gone through, but we have come up with some very unique systems. Now, all that being said, I need a caveat for tonight. We had a I say we, I should probably say more correctly, Kelly and Marcy had a conversation in reference to some of the funding options, and we worked an entire program around those, and we're making some adjustments to that funding program even as we speak. One of the things in working with Marcy, and she's been fantastic at helping us get to this point, is that we wanted to help her offer something that is actually going to come out even before we offer it to the general consultant population, is probably the best way to put it. So that being the case, we're not going to have tonight a live link to go and apply directly for funding, but you will have access to that link. And for everybody who's on tonight, we have your emails registered. That's part of signing up here. And you will receive that link in your email at the time where we have that worked out with some of these new changes and innovations that are taking place. So let's kind of talk about partially what led us here, and let's kind of have that discussion. Well, the first thing is you don't necessarily have a, quote, closing problem, you have a funding problem. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, in today's economy, it's absolutely no mystery to everyone that it's becoming more and more difficult on a day-by-day basis to create valuable income sources that are truly adding to the household. And this is where you come in. As consultants, you're in the field. You're out with people on a day-by-day basis, and you're expressing to them and helping them understand some of the unique opportunities that's before them within your field. Now, with that, and I'm sure everybody can kind of discuss this, and Kelly, feel free to jump in here, but with that, you're sitting with individuals and talking about how they can help change their lives, how they can go from living a life of quiet desperation to taking control of their lives and actually creating a future where they have the autonomy to live life on their terms. That is imperative to your entire process. That's the whole point of the business, right? Well, everyone wants that. Every single person wants to take control of their lives. Everyone wants that autonomy. They want to stop living day by day, check by check, where there's too much month at the end of the money, or however you want to phrase that. The point being is that when you sit down with them, they're excited, they're energetic. But then it comes down to, here's the next step we need to do, which is to create or actually go ahead and order the inventory that allows you, and the tools required that allow you to go into business. And that's where things come to a screeching halt, because the average individual may not have that available capital, if you will, at their disposal at that moment. And so then we're looking at creative ways of doing this. So if we think about it, you really don't have a closing problem. You don't have a problem helping people understand that they want to make a change in their lives, and they're excited about doing that. What we really have here is a funding problem. Kelly, I don't know if you want to add any more to that, or...
Yeah, I think, the only thing that I would love to add is that, it really gets to the point, and you hit it straight on, Ray, is that you sit down with these consultants who are excited and they're ready to go and change their life, absolutely. And because of that crash, as you said, in 2008, those traditional banks just are not lending. So it makes it increasingly harder and harder for sales directors specifically, and anyone along that process, whether you're a national or senior or executive, sales director or even a consultant building your team, it makes it increasingly hard to help them to have the proper tools, the inventory, their store, to be able to be successful in Mary Kay. So we're excited because now you're going to have an additional solution to that.
Okay, so with that, let's begin to kind of talk about the inventory funding program for a moment. And let's talk about some of the characteristics. Well, first of all, this program was built for those individuals with troubled credit who were unable to be approved for traditional funding. Obviously, if your client has the ability to go ahead and purchase the inventory package that they're trying to seek, they're going to do so. If they have the ability just to run down to their local bank and or use a credit card, they're probably going to do that. This package was actually developed for people who have run out of that option. That option may not be available to them. So it has two main goals. The first goal is to help consultants get the financing to start at the highest possible entry level. Now there's 6 levels, obviously, to this funding package, and they coincide obviously directly with the current funding levels for inventory that you have. But it's primarily geared to help them start at the highest possible entry level, and secondary to that is for those who are current associates, it's to help provide access to funding for their inventory purchases. So it's important to stress that this entire funding package, one of the key characteristics is that it can be used by current consultants or it can be used by those who are just starting out. It doesn't make a difference where you are at that point in your business. You have the option of accessing funding for your inventory purchases. Now let's kind of talk about some of the fundamentals. First of all, within this funding program, we don't have any prepayment penalty or balloon payment, and it's available in all 50 states. Now, I know that may not seem like much, and actually I know there are some funding options that are available to you currently that are out there that some are using, and I've looked at some of those, and typically they're available in a small number of states, or perhaps the interest rates. I saw one today. I think it's net credit, I'm not really sure, but they had interest rates going up to 249% to fund that inventory. This is not that type of program. This is available in all 50 states, has no prepayment penalty or balloon payment. We can work within co-signers, and co-signers can typically be anyone that qualifies independently on their own. And we have 10 to 15 second pre-approvals. Now this is going to be an online interactive process for us. And I'm going to kind of explain a little bit about that process in a few minutes. But just to let you know, within 10 to 15 seconds, we're going to be able to pre-approve folks and kind of see where they are. Now let's talk about what it takes to qualify for this. 1, you have to be 18 years or older and a U.S. citizen. 2, you do have to have an open checking account that is in good standing. You have to have a household income. Now, the reason that I put just a household income is depending on the level of funding that you're trying to attain, and I think everybody can understand this. The higher the funding is, let's say that funding is $7,500 for the sake of conversation. If you're trying to attain that level of funding, obviously the household income has to be higher just in order to support that type of loan. In other words, in order to make that payment versus a loan of $600, well, that's going to require much less household income. You must meet the minimal credit standards, and those credit standards are actually set on a basis of 16 different criteria. We're working right now, actually, as part of this innovation or renovation, if you will, of this particular lending program, to have those minimal standards actually reduced quite a bit. So we understand that this is for those individuals who probably have been impacted by our economy and will not have the highest credit standing. You must have a valid driver's license or proof of identity. And you should have proof of income available when applying. And the reason for this is sometimes when we apply, it's going to ask for your gross income, which we all know, the gross income is the amount of money before taxes or anything else comes out, just the total gross amount. Occasionally, they will ask for verification of that. So we'll need to have verification. I put some examples down at the bottom. That could be a W-2 or a 1099 or maybe last year's taxes or a bank statement, something like that, and we're going to guide you through that process. Now, let's talk about that process just a little bit for a moment. There's a couple of things that we do that is very unique in comparison to others. We're not just going to send you to an anonymous page somewhere and expect you to fill out a full application exactly 100% correct and not really know exactly what you're doing. For many, that's kind of a daunting task. So we have actually created within Capital Solutions our own loan advisors who you will actually speak with at the time when you make the initial application. And the initial application is really just a registration that says that you would like to be considered for this financing. When that happens, and that's what we're talking about here, you're going to register for your credit assessment on the inventory funding website. Now, once again, you will be receiving that website and those links, but that registration is just an initial registration. It allows us to know who you are and roughly the amount of funding that you're trying to apply for. It also allows our loan advisors to call you directly and begin to work with you to make sure that we can get you that approval. Secondly, you're going to receive an email with your credit status. And let me kind of talk about that for a moment. We just talked about the credit assessment. We actually have a proprietary system where we're able to help view your credit and help match you to that lender in the proper way. And when we do that, we're going to assess your credit and then be able to kind of give you a status. In other words, we're going to be able to help you look at your credit and see any issues that might be in conflict or issues that might have to be resolved before we make an actual loan application. Once we've done that, as it says here in step 2, you're going to receive an email with your credit status and a time to complete your loan application from one of our loan consultants. We're actually going to, at that point, be on with the loan consultant, review your funding options. In other words, how much will you qualify for and all the terms and everything such as that, and then help you electronically sign the disclosure page. And then basically within 3 to 5 days of your approval, you're going to receive an email from us that we have received your funding and you can now enter your order. And you're going to do that through a credit card because that's how Mary Kay likes to receive those funds. So we're going to set up a card directly linked to your loan that allows you just to debit that card and pay for that inventory. Kelly, is there any more that you think we should add or emphasize, at least at this point, for that funding process?
I don't think so, Ray.
Okay.
I don't think so, Ray. That sounds great.
Okay. So with that, as we're kind of closing up, because I promised we keep this to about 30 minutes, and I didn't want to keep anyone on too long, the true goal of tonight was to give you the base information that you need in order that you might have this time in the next few days to kind of go back and kind of look at your pipeline of individuals or look at your current inventory and say, okay, how can I take this funding source and create a way by which I can actually help my business truly explode? So this is a great time to look at those individuals who you may have talked with in the past, but it just wasn't economically viable at that point. Maybe even drop them a phone call and say, in the next few days, we have something unique that's coming out where you might be able to apply and get the funding that you need to go ahead and start your business. And that's going to be an important characteristic for the next few days. As I said, for Marcy's group exclusively, you're going to have early entry to this to be able to apply before we actually take it on a national scale or a bigger scale across the nation for those individuals. So, and that's really, once again, we want to thank Marcy incredibly for her help in helping us kind of get this going. And it also provides us a few days to make some adjustments in the loan structure that's going to allow you to be able to use that over a period of time instead of one lump sum. This was something that Marcy had expressed to us, that very often people may want to use a portion of what they've been approved for in 1 month and then use another portion in another month in order to help them qualify at different standards. So that's truly what we're trying to accommodate. And while that may not seem, for those of you on the line, that monumental of a task, oddly enough, it is. So we're working with that. We do have solutions, and those solutions are going to be coming out in just the next few days. But feel free to contact us. As we said, if you have any questions or information, you can certainly phone us at the number listed there. Or, and this is probably a better way to do it, is through email, which is at rsims@capitalsolutionsfundinggroup.com. The reason that I say that that's a better means by which to contact, one, I will answer your email promptly and get directly back with you. But two, as there's any changes or innovations or so forth, I'm going to be the first to know. So with that, is there anything that you'd like to add, Kelly, towards the end here?
Great. I just wanted to let everyone know again, thank you so much for being on the call tonight. I hope this has been informational. We're excited to help you to build and grow your business even larger. Again, we want to thank Marcy Burton so much for being so gracious and working with us to come up with additional funding for your business. So thank you again.
Absolutely. And just bear in mind with tonight, this is kind of a pre-launch call. Is really designed to kind of give you the ideas to let you know what we're trying to achieve. Once again, you will be receiving emails and information on the program. As we get to that final development stage, you will receive your links so that you can either apply for yourself and or help other people apply. And everything that you need to get started. And you'll be receiving those towards the beginning of the week. So just want to let everybody know that. And once again, we thank you so much for being here this evening. And we look forward to helping you truly grow your business to the largest extent possible and help resolve this problem that thus far most haven't found a solution for. So that's our job. That's what we're here to do. And we truly appreciate serving you. With that, I'd like to say good night. It is currently 30 minutes after, so we did that just on time. And once again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me directly at rsims, with one M, at capitalsolutionsfundinggroup.com. Thank you very much and have a wonderful evening.
Good night, everyone.